Hello, everybody. I'm Seth Weissman, and welcome to another episode of Safe Real Estate. Today, I want to talk about the protected period, and there are 3 key points that every realtor should remember. The first is, if you are working with the seller and your seller brokerage engagement agreement expires, and the seller then hires another real estate broker to list the property, there is no protected period whatsoever. So when you are taking a listing on a property, you should always ask the question, were you working with another broker, and did your seller brokerage engagement agreement terminate? Point number 2, if you are working with a seller and your brokerage engagement agreement expires, and now the seller does not hire another real estate broker, but goes ahead and sells the property to someone that you introduced to the property, then there is a protected period, and you would have a right to claim a commission against the seller so long as the property goes under contract during the protected period. Now, one of the things every realtor needs to think about is how long should that protected period be? Some people think that a 90-day protected period is more than sufficient. But you have to ask yourself, if the seller waits until day 91 and then sells the property to a buyer that was introduced to the property by you, are you going to feel cheated? And if the answer is yes, then the protected period you have selected is too short. My recommendation is that we think about protected periods more in terms of years than days or months. I personally think that the shortest protected period you should agree to is 180 days. And if you can get a seller to agree to a 1-year protected period, that's even better. Point number 3, and this may be the most important point of the day. Let's say you have a brokerage engagement with the seller, and the seller decides to fire you. They send you an email, they call you on the phone, they say, I do not want to work with you anymore. You do not mutually terminate the agreement. The seller simply terminates unilaterally. In that case, there is a protected period, and there is a protected period even if the seller then hires another real estate brokerage firm. The length of the protected period is the number of days remaining on the original term of your agreement, plus the length of the protected period. So let's say hypothetically you have a 6-month seller brokerage engagement agreement and you get fired at the end of month 3. And in that case, you had a 90-day protected period. You are fired halfway through the seller brokerage engagement agreement. So the protected period is the remaining term of that agreement, which is 3 more months, plus the protected period of 90 days. So you end up with the protected period of 180 days. And again, that applies even if the seller hires another real estate brokerage firm. So what that means is if the seller then sells the property to someone that you introduced to the property, the seller may well owe the new broker a commission, but they would certainly owe you a commission as the previous broker. So the bottom line is it is much better as the listing broker to be fired than to mutually agree to terminate the contract, because if you mutually agree to terminate, there is no protected period whatsoever. I hope this episode of Safe Real Estate has been beneficial. As always, it's great to see everybody. Please continue to tune in. Bye now.